Malala means courageous.
Tonight, Malala remains in intensive care.
She was shot in the head for daring to suggest girls should go to school.
You're obviously an adult with many experiences. Even though she's only a teenage girl, what have you learnt from Malala's story?
Oh my gosh. I would leave their home, going to my home in LA, and wonder whether I would have the courage to risk my life for something that I believed in. Malala risked her life. She stood up and spoke out knowing that people might hurt her for what she believed in, and I would ask myself, would I do that? And would I risk my children's lives to do that? That is what is so incredible about her and her story.
I'm a 15-year-old girl as well, which is why I identify with her and her story and the film. You use animation to bring Malala's story to life. What impact do you think this has on the way you tell her story?
Well, the great thing about documentaries right now is that documentaries are changing. They used to be these things that you had to watch. You're just getting a lot of information and they're kind of a chore. It's like spinach. Your parents push it across the table and say, eat your spinach, it's good for you. I think what's so exciting right now is that documentaries are changing in the most wonderful ways. They're moving, they're inspirational, they're emotional, and that was my hope for this movie, that this movie would be something that girls especially would love and go to because they feel like it's their story, and then it's an experience for them. They don't see it as a documentary, they don't see it as a movie, they see it as their story.
What is two hands?
This is Malala used to say, she's the naughtiest girl on the earth. 1, 2, 3, go.
It's not fair.
Come on then.
Despite all of her achievements, we see a lot of Malala's life with her family. Why is it important to see her life as a normal teenager?
Here we found a hero who was an ordinary girl. It could be anyone. It could be anyone in England. Malala was completely unknown. What made her extraordinary was the fact that she stood up and she spoke out. And so when you see this, you realize that anyone can be Malala. If Malala can do it, my daughters can do it, or you could do it.
Lots of archive footage has been used. What were the biggest decisions you had to make when choosing the right material?
Well, I just wanted to make a movie that, one, people understood the world and what happened, but also I wanted people to feel invited into this part of the world. I think some of us get this impression of the Muslim world as sort of dark and scary. The truth is it's a beautiful world. It's a very multifaceted world. And I think it's very, very important for all of us, especially now when there's this incredible immigration crisis, to understand that this is a very, very rich and beautiful culture.
I know education is extremely important to Malala. As a filmmaker, what do you find most important?
Well, I've made many films about education, and it seems like a sort of a boring subject matter, education. I mean, I didn't want to go to school. But when you think about it, education is where people's potential is realized. And I have this theory that no matter who you are, you have potential. There's a potential inside of you. And it's school where you find that potential. It's school where that potential can grow. And it's especially shown in this movie, He Named Me Malala, because in Pakistan, there weren't schools for girls. And Malala and her father had a school. And that's where Malala grew, and you saw her incredible potential grow. And so that is what is important to me, is to see that anyone can be something special, especially when you have an education.
So I'm usually just sitting in maths going, oh, this is so boring. But after watching the film, I appreciate my education a lot more.
I think sometimes we take for granted what we have. And school feels like this thing we have to do. And oh, I've got homework and I have to do all these things. And I felt that way as a student. Absolutely, I felt that way. But if it was taken away from you, how would you feel? If you could never go to school again and see your friends and read the books you wanted to read and learn the things you wanted to do, if you didn't have the thing that got you to where you wanted to go. School is that stepping stone to all the things you want to do. If you want to become a doctor or a lawyer or anything, school is that thing you need to get to where you want to go. We look at it as this thing that we have to do. But if it's the thing you need to get where you want to go, and that's taken away from you, you look at school very differently.
My father only gave me the name Malala. He didn't make me Malala. I chose this life, and now I must continue it.